Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. It's actually going to be a very random video on YouTube, considering that there's been a lot of good news and bad news, a lot of setbacks and stuff, and I'm only going to be concentrating in this bedroom, as in the one I'm talking here, because there's actually been a lot of things that have been happening of late. But first off, you know one catchphrase I'm going to say next, don't you? In this time of the year, when the weather is not feeling very, very good. Oh, that's just great! I released all the hot net trap with nowhere to go! No! We all like a little bit of weather forecasting, and that's the nicest thing I could always say to myself. And of course, yes, I'm straightforward familiar with the way I sort of do stuff on the internet. And yes, I did talk about the persistence of the low pressure system. In fact, just a complete ban of low pressure systems that have been hitting across the UK. And unfortunately, this year's summer does not actually seem to bode very, very well, although there is a clause at the very end of this forecast before we move on to something else. And yes, I've been blabbering about the UK weather and it's been driving me crazy. Yes, I didn't go outside. I did not actually go outside because of how stupidly wet the weather has changed, and in fact it has changed for the worst still at this point, because we're getting bands of rainfall, like excessive amounts of rainfall and colder temperatures. Some of them on the heavy and the thundery side as well too, as you can definitely tell. It's not very, very good. But of course, yes, it's on the breezy side as well too. Look how windy it is. Now that prompts a sign you gotta wear your coats outside, and that's not the most summery thing. It's more of a winter / autumn scenario. And if we go ahead and click on if I take you to the BBC weather tab, I should show you almost everything, because, you know, I'm certainly the sort of person who speaks randomly on my YouTube channel, as always, as per usual. But let's scroll down here, because let's take a look at what the BBC weather has to say here, because hey, we've got some good solutions, but we've also got some problems along the way here. And if we keep tracking along here, we're going to see a very strange change. Notice there's something quite red, not yet, but of course, yes, what's coming further around the cards is going to pretty much be fairly interesting. Okay, yes, tomorrow is going to be just a cold day, but of course tomorrow will be a bit decently warm, but unfortunately there's no sunshine on the cards. Although it's 19 degrees Celsius, it will be 18 degrees Celsius. Warm, but unfortunately we've totally lost the summer heat. Okay, so that's not the most summery outlook you can look forward to, and so are these. But then, if you track along, next week is going to be much drier. I don't really like how this conclusion is often like, and I hate to say this, you know, whenever I seem to jump into conclusions that, you know, the weather seems to split within half a month, I really don't like where this is going. Like, obviously, here's my gripes. Okay, so my only gripe is that I really don't like when the UK weather in July goes very cold and very dull and very wet during this early part of July, when the children are still in their school uniforms, because it just makes them look like as if they were wearing stuff for winter time. Okay, that's my only guessing. Okay, obviously I don't want to try and upset any people on YouTube, because obviously I don't want to probably force people to take off their clothes, just like at the moment where I can pretty imagine, you know, a couple of Christmas elves having a strip party or something like that though, when polar bears are drinking cocaine and a walrus having sex with someone else, like another walrus. I don't know. Let's not go there, of course. Otherwise, this video could get adult rated, and that would probably tick off a lot of the BBC weather and Met Office meteorological people and say, who the hell are you talking about? And yes, it is true that the UK weather has been recently been influenced by the cold northerly Arctic winds, and yes, I can definitely tell what's happening. Tuesday and Wednesday, in fact the rest of the whole week, is set to be one of the worst, just like the early part of this week, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just very, very terrible. I mean, just look at the weather, man. Nothing that shouts at summary. It's just a complete epic fail. But anyways, let's take a look at the video and see how it goes.
Hello there. Conditions did improve somewhat through this afternoon with increasing amounts of sunshine, particularly across southern and eastern areas. But as we head into part 2 of the weekend, it's going to be a similar story. Starting off with sunny spells and then showers will develop. Some of them could be heavy and thundery through the afternoon. It's all courtesy of this area of low pressure, which has brought wet and windy weather to southern and eastern areas. That's continuing to push off into the North Sea as we head through this evening and overnight. Many of the showers fade away tonight, clearer skies, but showers will return across southern and western areas during the early hours. So where we have clear skies, temperatures in single digits. Where we have more cloud, more breeze across the south, and with the showers, then we're looking at 10 to 12 Celsius. So Sunday starts off brighter than what we had on Saturday morning with some sunshine before showers get going late morning onwards. And into the afternoon, these will tend to become widespread, form bands as well, and some of them could be heavy and thundery, but a few areas could escape them altogether and stay dry. Wind's a bit lighter too, so it should feel a touch warmer. Disappointing temperatures for this time of year, mid to high teens.
I agree.
So Sunday then, expect a heavy shower to move through the Wimbledon area. Monday, this is a bit pessimistic. It will start dry with plenty of sunshine before cloud thickens up later in the day with some patchy rain.
Nice description.
So as we head through Sunday night, most of the showers fade away with a slightly cooler air mass in place, light winds, clear skies. It's going to turn quite chilly with temperatures widespread into single digits, even in towns and cities. Out of towns, we're looking at low single figures, so a chilly start to Monday. However, it'll be chilly but bright, widespread sunshine around, light winds. Through the day, showers will develop across central and northern areas, and then towards the end of the day, this new area of low pressure will push into the south to bring thicker cloud and outbreaks of rain. So a pretty decent day, I think, before this low starts to move up from the south. And we could see temperatures touching 20 degrees. That area of low pressure continues to move north across the UK during Tuesday and Wednesday. Towards the end of the week, though, we've got high pressure toppling in from the west. That should settle things down. And I think as we head into next weekend and the following week, it looks like it should be dry, quite a bit of sunshine around. But the run-up to next weekend looks like it'll stay unsettled thanks to low pressure. Pretty disappointing temperatures for July.
What really confuses me is that what I've already said in the previous video was, of course, there was high pressure hitting around during Thursday and Friday, and that's actually not the case. When I saw these raindrop symbols, I thought, that's very much an error. I think that's pretty much, I don't know. I'm sort of thinking, why is it raining on Thursday and Friday, and why are the temperatures 19 and 18 degrees Celsius? That's just completely disgusting. And I don't want to sound like I'm a complete hypocritical, ranty type person on YouTube without sounding grotesque on the internet, and probably people would probably slap me in the face for that obvious purpose. And as you can see, without being a complete flash in the pan, and I mean, I won't say anything nonsense, as you can definitely tell, the low pressure is still hitting the UK. But one thing you don't actually realise, there's what looks like to be a trough of low pressure that's actually still within the UK. And we've also got high pressure right over in France and Germany and Italy and in Switzerland. I think it's in the Alps. I don't know why this high pressure is here. And we've also got the Azores high as well too. But one thing that doesn't really seem to bode well is that we've got low pressure. I think this is low pressure still attacking on Thursday and Friday. Of course, we've also got this high pressure system right here. The audience will possibly have to tell me why is it going to be wet and rainy for about, in parts of London and Birmingham for about 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. And of course, yes, that high pressure is trying to nudge in, but it's not doing its best. I wonder if this could potentially spring in some new summer warmth, obviously, because it's coming from the Azores. Because as you can see, as if I can play this video again, there's the low pressure systems here, not looking good. Obviously, it's very bad, but then you've got this low pressure system here. And what's this? Just this band of maritime wet weather coming into play throughout the rest of Spain and France. And why do we have this? And that's actually confusing. And then we've also got this outlook for Friday. As you can see, we've got high pressure trying to ridge in. But yes, we've got low pressure into the southeast, I think. but I might be totally wrong. Please tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. Whether this is low pressure or this is high pressure, I can't tell which one is which. I believe we're still stuck in the low pressure side in the UK, and this side here of high pressure, it's trying to nudge in, but I don't think it's going to make as much big effect as I initially thought it would be. But of course, yes, what we're not seeing is the absolute high temperatures, and the only best way to go for is that if you really want high temperatures, you need to get the high pressure to extend from the Azores high and pick up all the way towards, well, there's another scenario here. Well, what's going on here is that we've got low pressure over Scandinavia, and then we've also got, what's also another problem is, and I actually didn't even show this, and yes, I already did show you about the error that happens on Thursday and Friday, which is not looking good. Yep, they're going to be in their sweaters and coats and jackets and blazers and jumpers in this time of the year because, hey, Merry Christmas, suckers. Anyways, I'm just going to go to the pressure chart. Now, here's a stumbling block that I actually almost totally ignored. Look at this high pressure system right over in the middle, in between Canada and the British Isles, but also, guess where it's located in? Both Greenland and Iceland in the Arctic. Now, this culprit here should not actually touch right here. There shouldn't be two high pressure systems right over at the Atlantic. And I know there's a high pressure system on the west, and also we've got those nasty polar maritime air masses which are coming all the way from northern Canada, more specifically Nova Scotia and Labrador and Newfoundland. Hopefully I've got the name of the provinces or states of Canada right. Is this Saskatchewan? I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the Canadian province. What is that thing here? Let me just do a bit of research. Okay, I found a geographical map of Canada, and I think this area here is called Nunavut. Nunavut, I think. Nunavut. Can anyone say that word properly? Because I don't know if I can say that word properly, because it sounds like something out of a... I'm not sure if I could speak French Canadian or English Canadian or I don't know, whatever Canadian this is, but it does look very wintry. It does look very northerly, as you can see. Yeah, it's coming all the way from Canada. Look at that, it's coming all the way from Canada. Look at all that bulky conveyor belt of low pressure. Look where it's coming from. No surprise, we've got a developing area of low pressure, and if we track along, developing in the Atlantic, the high pressure vaporizes, becomes low pressure, and then is followed by more low pressure systems that are coming from the Atlantic. You can definitely see what's happening. Look at that. Canada is pooping out lots of low pressures. Look at this. This is not very good. We've got two low pressure systems dumping in more rain. But one thing I didn't even notice is that we've got a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, which could be good news. Somehow, maybe, but we'll see about that as the year progresses. And surprisingly, we've got high pressure right here, but then hey, you know, what more can I just digress about? I really don't know. It's somehow one of these little mysteries that I can't somehow talk about. I think when you look at this weather map, it's straightforward, very confusing, whether it's high pressure or low pressure. It's strangely enough a bit of a conundrum, you know, with high pressure and low pressure hitting almost anywhere in this world. It's beyond quite complex, and I think I've spoken about it many, many times, you know, with all these lines and stuff, whether it's high pressure or low pressure taking over. High pressure is the dry one, the low pressure is the wet one, and both of them are respectively respected to their temperatures, low being cold, high being the hottest, I think. And most importantly, before we jump into conclusions, before we move on to the next subject, let's take a look at the weather for the week ahead and see what the hell is it going on right now. Hopefully I don't get my memory sorted out.
Hello there. The upcoming week is remaining pretty unsettled, with temperatures remaining below the seasonal norm. However, there's signs of high pressure that wants to build in for next weekend and beyond, which could bring us a very much needed drier and sunnier spell with temperatures creeping up slowly as well. Part 2 of the weekend, though, much of the same, much like Saturday was. Sunny spells, scattered showers, some of which will be heavy and thundery. That was Saturday's low, pushing off into Scandinavia. This feature will be enhancing shower activity across England and Wales during the course of Sunday. So through Sunday afternoon, some of these showers, particularly across England and Wales, could be heavy, prolonged and thundery in places. There will be some sunshine in between, some good spells of sunshine across central northern Scotland at times. Winds a bit lighter, so it might feel a touch warmer than Saturday. Highs of 18 or 19 degrees, but generally for most 15 to 17 degrees. Now the showers begin to fade away during Sunday night. Winds turn lighter, skies clear. So that's a recipe for quite a chilly night to come, I think, with values into single digits, even towns and cities and out of town. In some rural spots, we could be in low single digits, so a chilly start to Monday. However, like I mentioned, the week ahead is going to remain unsettled. We've got another area of low pressure moving through, and that'll bring more of the same temperature-wise, feeling cool for July. This is the new low I'm talking about. But before we reach that point, Monday looks fine. We're in a ridge of high pressure, so a chilly start, maybe a little bit of mist and fog around to begin with. However, once that clears, we should see lots of sunshine for many of us. Just a few showers developing through central and northern areas, the odd heavy one. And then later in the day, the skies will start to turn cloudier across the south as this area of low pressure pushes up, and that will start to bring some patchy rain later on. But we could see top temperature of around 20 degrees across some central and eastern areas because of all the sunshine. Now, as we head into Tuesday, that area of low pressure starts to move northwards across the country. So a bit of a dire day, I think, at the moment. It looks like it will be wet and windy. Some of the rain will be quite heavy as it splashes its way northwards, eventually reaching much of Scotland. And the wind's picking up too, particularly North Sea coast, northern and eastern Scotland, perhaps across into Northern Ireland as well. But a blustery day, I think, for most. Sunshine and showers will follow on the heavy rain as it continues to advance northwards. Temperature-wise, 19 or 20 at best, given some sunshine in the south later on. Otherwise, it will feel cool where we have the wind and the rain. That band of rain pushes northwards then as we head into Wednesday, the centre of the low, weak low, but nonetheless low pressure sitting across the UK will bring lighter winds in its centre, but sunshine and showers. And some of these showers could turn out to be heavy and thundery again. But in the sunshine, of course it's July, it will feel quite warm. So we could be up into 21, maybe 22 degrees in the warm spots, cooler across northern Scotland where we have the stronger winds and outbreaks of rain. So that's how Wednesday's looking. Beyond Wednesday, those low pressure systems clear away. We start to see this area of high pressure topple in from the west. And it looks like it could be quite dominant, keeping weather fronts at bay. It could scrape the northwest of Scotland at time with just one or two showers. But generally speaking, as we move into the outlook period, high pressure wants to hold on. So once we get rid of the low pressure systems for this upcoming week, things will be turning drier and sunnier as we head into next weekend and beyond. Winds will be light. Our air source generally come down from the north, so it's not going to be a heat wave, but temperatures could start to lift with prolonged sunshine.
Okay, one thing I really like about this weatherman right here was that he described the weather as pessimistic on that previous weather forecast. What he said about on the other video, and that was actually really nice on that video. Of course, if I play it again, obviously it was Monday for Wimbledon, as you can definitely tell. It doesn't really like doing that actually. Don't know why, but there it is.
Monday, this is a bit of pessimistic. It will start dry with plenty of sunshine before cloud thickens up later in the day with some patchy rain.
That's actually quite a good description. And it was enough of all that weather talk, because it's probably going to upset a lot of people and probably start a war or something. It could probably end up with World War III, wouldn't it? Anyways, let's talk about toys. Let's look at them next. Okay, you remember I spoke about the 4th of July Penguin Club World toy range items? I actually made about 5 of these toys. 5 items, so that's not too bad. It's certainly not one of the biggest amount that I just pulled off for my 4th of July Independence Day event. That I decided to make it as a bit of a minority. I've still got more Penguin Club World toys to make, but there's also been some other cards for other things that will be on the works. And I'm just looking around here, but there's a toy range I don't think I've made that much. And I think, obviously, as I'm looking around here, I can't see that much. But I'll tell you what it is. You know what's something missing? Guess what? You know what's actually not been around for a very long time? The flip-flap ponies. Now, obviously, if you remember some of my previous flip-flap toy reviews, one of them had a flip-flap origami ponies toy, which I can't really find. It was like a model pony themed sort of stylized toy. I think it was. It had like your background pony characters. I think I've made one or two of them so far this year, but I can't quite recall or remember. It was quite nice to bring back a bit of a taste of the 2010, the 2010s when the ponies franchise was straightforward, very dominant. The model pony toy range. I couldn't find it anywhere. I've just been chasing around, and sadly, I can't see any. I think I've made some of them before, but I can't remember where the hell did I just put them. None right here. I'll just have to leave it. But I will make an announcement that the flip-flap origami ponies toy range might definitely make a bit of a comeback. And hopefully bring girls to a nice bright spirit. Hopefully if everything's going well into plan. And yes, the flip-flap ponies. One of the most interesting things about them, as unfortunate as it sounds, it is one of the least popular of all the flip-flap toys I've been making. However, if you remember back in 2022, there was a huge, massive range of flip-flap ponies toys. It could probably explode again this year, and also like 2 years' time. I'm sort of thinking the flip-flap ponies toy range is going to explode in numbers to appeal to widely girly and feminine audiences, and that could be quite interesting. I sort of really want to bring back the model pony phenomenon. That is what you call the brony phenomenon, or the brony fandom, because there's a lot of model pony fans which are on the male side, of course. I'm sort of thinking I want to bring it back because it's been quite a while. They haven't done any pony themed toys, especially when it came to like Generation 5, because recently on TikTok there was a lot of G5 model pony videos on TikTok, and also posts as well, because obviously model pony is coming back because of the fandom, and it sort of reminds me of furries whenever you think about that fandom. Anyways, let's move on to some more bad news. Okay, what's just happened was that I was originally going to be working on an animation project about penguins during July. Unfortunately, all of the stuff all relating to penguins for my animation project for July, they've all been deleted. And there's actually a couple of reasons. One, it's straightforward complex, and it's also very tiring. Number two, there's actually too many sprites that I feel like I can't do all of it at all. And three, it's going to take a long time, like obviously for that to happen, for that to actually happen, it's going to be very tricky for me to try and somehow pull it off. To make a penguin-themed animated short, that's unfortunately going to be straightforward scrapped. And the reason why it's scrapped is because I'm not yet that confident at the moment yet. I need to wait for about year's time to see how things play out. Maybe I won't, but we'll see how it goes, because the Penguin Club World toy range has been very, very popular, and I've still got about 7 to 8 more flip-flap products about them before they can just waddle off from the shelves. Who knows, I might introduce the ponies next, I guess so. Who knows, penguins or ponies? Which one would you want to have? Either which, of course. Anyway, without being too random in this video, I will be working on a new animation project sometime around, I would say late July, because the weather has been very bad, and I think I'm going to struggle from like next week, I think. I might do about 3 weeks time, I think. I might try and work on a new animation, or 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see how it goes, because I need to sort of wait for the weather to warm up a bit, because outside it's not looking like summer, it's looking a lot more like autumn. And I'm wondering if I'm going to translate the Northern Hemisphere, which is the hemisphere I live against, like Australia, and obviously it's just way beyond cold, and outside it does feel very nice and sunny. But obviously it just doesn't have the appeal of what summer has. And of course this, I mean, looking at those bright blue skies, there's nothing summery about it. It just does not have the real heat of summer like everyone else has expected in the first place. But anyways, I should probably leave this video here. Please give this video a good like, subscribe more for flat videos in the future, and I'm still on this dramatic saga against such bloody cold weather. Whether it's about to change or not instantly, we'll have to decide on what Mother Nature has to offer to do such. And the fate of Mother Nature depends on certain other weather events that are happening at the moment. Press F to pay respect, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye for now. And FYI, I've actually got tons of memory being implemented in one of my videos, so it's probably best if I delete this upload. Well, actually not on YouTube, but after uploading onto YouTube, the video that I filmed on my tablet will be gone. Okay, that's it guys, bye now.